Welcome guys, in this video doing a review of the WeMo Insight Switch, which is basically like a smart plug. It just rests on top of your old regular dummy outlet and it acts as a smart plug for you. You plug it in, it'll start flashing a Wi-Fi symbol at the top of the device, no problem. You must have an Android or iOS device in order to make this work. You download the WeMo app, I already have it installed, and I do have my current smart light switch, which is also from WeMo set up. That's why I already have that listed there. And what you have to basically do is make sure you're currently connected to your home Wi-Fi. Now, do not disconnect from your home Wi-Fi, but you're going to be seeing one broadcasted from the Insight Switch. Make sure you connect to it, and then it'll kind of synchronize with your current home router. It should automatically flip back to your home router settings once it's fully connected with your phone, and it'll grab your Wi-Fi password and sync it automatically. Now, do notice that during the setup process that it does disconnect and reconnect my Wi-Fi multiple times, and it does take a couple of minutes for it to sync and eventually just permanently connect, which is a bit longer than it should take for something so simple. Now, if it doesn't work and it just disconnects, just restart the process all over again. I mean, there's no harm in doing so. Now, one of the things I want to do a real live test, kind of like as if you were anywhere around the world, is to connect to LTE, because that's away from my home router basically. So I'm turning it on and off while on LTE, and it works just fine. So one of the great things about this product is that it's IFTTT compatible, and so is Google Home. So what I did is actually connect them both through IFTTT. If you're not sure what that is, it stands for if this then that. You can find a link to what IFTTT is and how it works. The link is in the video description, which I go into more in depth about it. So basically I've connected them through IFTTT, and I can use this custom command of my Google Home product. Okay Google, turn on the Christmas tree.
Okay, bringing the Christmas cheer.
So the WeMo app is actually where a lot of functionality and controls is done. So basically you have a list of WeMo devices I've demonstrated earlier. So here's a WeMo Insight Switch. And if I tap on that, it'll show you just some details about the last connection. Now here's the issue that I noticed. So in this example, we had the Christmas tree on for 3 minutes not too long ago, and it didn't give a lot of details as to how much electricity usage it has. Now if you do notice, there's a section that says estimated monthly. I do find it annoying that it doesn't tell you how much electricity was used in the last 30 days, for example, if you want a more detailed report. That is the entire point of this version. Is that it's supposed to give you statistics, and you can kind of like look at your electricity usage. Since it doesn't really give you that much detail, I don't even see the point of having this version of the smart switch, to be honest. There is a more regular version without these insight details, which is cheaper. I suggest possibly looking into that one. I'll put a name to the regular version in the video description. Now it is pretty nice that it only takes a one power outlet of 2. There is a little bit of concern that it's still a little bit on the chunkier side. It would have made more sense if it was narrower and longer across instead of being fatter and almost taking up half the power outlet size. Although I do have to mention, it's pretty cool that the power button that you can use to manually turn this device on and off from the power outlet itself is a touch sensitive button at the top, which illuminates when it's powered on. Now at the very top, closest to the wall portion, there's a micro USB port which actually has no functionality. I'm not actually sure what it's designed for. And just above the touch sensitive power on off button, there's a reset button in case you have to reset the device in case it's not working properly. Not only that, but if you go into the rules section of the application, it is pretty limited. Here's what you can do. So for example, if I was to create a new rule, and here you have some options to choose from by time, sunset, sunrise, auto timer, long press. So basically you can set some rules and conditions that you can make the power outlet turn on and off at a certain time. It doesn't have to be sunrise or sunset. You can do by a certain custom time. How long do you want it on and off for? Do you want like an away mode? So one thing is like sensing power, for example. You would think it would make sense to have it that it would turn off after using a certain amount of electricity, or maybe a certain amount of money value used up in electricity. It does not contain that option anywhere. So it is really disappointing that it kind of defeats the entire purpose of having those insight details in this application. So the WeMo Insight Smart Switch is basically a smart plug with the core functions that you expect. For example, you can control it remotely from your cell phone, so even if you're halfway across the world, you can still control it. You can set some timers on and off. Now the problem here is that the insights feature doesn't really work that well, as I demonstrated earlier. Then of course is the weird physical design of it. I don't understand why it has to be so boxed. Why couldn't it be kind of more compressed but wider, so it takes up less physical space on your power outlet? I mean, you know, what if you have something else that's really chunky plugged in there? It doesn't really work that well, does it? So it's a pretty good device, but I'm not sure if it's worth paying that extra amount for the insight details, even though it doesn't really work that well. So hope you guys found this video useful. Be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and Instagram links. If this video did help, hit the like button. It does help. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.